Hey, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? We got another breaking story coming to you guys now about Ja Morant and his relationship with Nike. So let's give it a few minutes and allow everybody to catch up to this live. Got another breaking story here. Another breaking story. Let me just post this right here in the comments before we get started. Let's allow everybody a few minutes to catch up to this live. Let's give it a few seconds here, and then we'll get into it. Just a second there. Yep. Y'all better believe it. Yep. Y'all better believe it. We got some more to the story here. Let's give it like another minute or so. We're gonna get into this live here. I got a lot that I want to discuss, but I will not stay on here for too long. I'm sure a lot of you people got better stuff to do than sit here listening to me. But anyway, let me get into the story here. So I was just actually combing through the internet here, and I got a report that Nike has officially decided to remove Ja Morant from their website. So when I first heard the news, I was like, okay, this cannot be true. So I Googled it. I Googled two sources. The first source that reported this information, this info came out about 10 minutes ago. So I'm going to post it in the comment section right here. I'm getting this from TMZ. You see it right there. We just posted it in the comment section. TMZ report that Nike has officially removed Ja Morant from their website. Then I went to Nike.com. I went to the basketball. So if you go to Nike's website, the American store, if you go to Nike's website, you go under men's basketball shoes, you will clearly see LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka Doncic, Zion Williamson, Russell Westbrook, Paul George, Elena Del Donne, AJ Wilson, Jordan, and Cosmetic Unity. There is no more Ja Morant. Ja Morant is no longer on their website. No longer. And funny enough, we actually produced the show. Right after the story initially broke, where a particular sports insider, if I can just bring up the show here, give me a second here. For the new people coming in, Nike has officially removed Ja Morant from their website, and I think they are now preparing to remove him altogether from the get rid of him. We actually did a show on this not too long ago. We did it a few days ago where I can't remember, but it was a particular an NBA insider who said that we should prepare for Nike to start parting ways with Ja Morant. So he's no longer most likely going to be a Nike endorsed athlete. And there's so many ways to approach this story. The most aggravating one is all of this is self-inflicted. Literally, nobody did this. This is all self-inflicted here. And the funny thing is, it's not like as if Nike's overreacting, because when the first story initially broke, Nike continued to stay with him like they customarily do. They stayed with Kobe. They stayed with Tiger Woods. They stayed with so many athletes that a lot of us have deemed to be controversial. So we got to ask ourselves the question, what is it about Ja that even Nike's saying, you know what, man, we can tolerate this guy the first time, but the second time we can't do it? And I'll tell you why I think Nike's doing this. I think the reason Nike is doing this is because Ja is an extremely popular NBA player. Very, very popular. I think Ja Morant is even more popular than Kyrie Irving when Kyrie Irving was going through that stuff. And for them to say, you know what, given the level of impact and influence this guy has, we have to start finding a way to part ways with this guy and just separate entirely. It speaks volumes. Let me read a little bit what TMZ is reporting here. For the new people coming in, new report from TMZ came out about 10-15 minutes ago. Ja Morant sneaker removed from Nike app and site after second gun incident. If you're trying to cop a pair of Ja Morant sneakers, signature sneakers, you'll have to look somewhere other than Nike's website because the NBA superstar's kicks are nowhere to be found in an online store days after his second gun incident. The Ja 1 athletic shoes were released on April 19th. Think about this. Oh my God. Do y'all realize that Ja Morant could potentially get his shoe pulled in virtually 1 month of them being released? This is May 18th. His shoes went live on April 19th. Just 1 month later. Just 1 month later. And now they've already removed them from their website. And let me tell you guys something. Shoes or items that have been purchased that are being bought online, a lot of these retail companies, they get a lot of their revenue from online shoppers. More and more people are ordering things online. So for them to remove them from their website, that is a significant move. I continue on with the article here. The Ja number 1 athletic shoes were released on April 19th and have been very popular. However, when we looked on Nike's site Thursday morning, which is today, the Morant sneakers were not available. In fact, outside of a few t-shirts, there isn't anything Morant related. But Nike hasn't totally erased Morant sneakers. There's a new mismatch hunger colorway that's scheduled to be released on May 25th, and it still appears to be in the upcoming section of Nike's sneakers app. Other retailers like Dick's Sporting Goods and secondary resellers like StockX and Fight Club still have Ja's number 1s for sale. This is where we are. Them shoes going to cost a grip to get them now, most likely. This is where we are right now. This is where we are. And this is the reason why all of those people that were getting frustrated, a lot of people felt like, or some people felt like people were trying to beat up on Ja Morant. That's not what was happening. The majority of the people that were upset with Ja, they were upset because it looked like he was throwing away his future. That's why they were upset. It looked like he was throwing away his future just to look hard online. And the NBA hasn't even released a statement yet on what his suspension is going to be like. Ja did all of this to himself. He did all of this to himself. How do you go from being one of the most talented basketball players in the world with everything in front of you and you find a way to self-sabotage? And that's the word we're going to use. The term. He self-sabotaged himself. Because some people will say, well, this is just a second incident. This one wasn't really his fault. But what about all those other cases? What about all those other cases? All of those other incidents surrounding this dude? This is very, very sad. This is very, very sad. Very, very sad. And my question is, who is in Ja Morant's corner? Who's giving him advice? Who's counseling this dude? Who are the people that are advising this dude? Who are the mentors? I don't understand it. It's not like as if Ja Morant is doing something that he's the only one that's done it before. You got people like LeBron James that came before you. You got people like Kevin Garnett. You got people like Kobe. You got people like Jordan. So there's a roadmap. Look at LeBron. Ja Morant said he wanted to be a billionaire by 30. He said, I want to be a billionaire by 30. So if you want to be a billionaire by 30, why are you running around doing all of these crazy things with all of these different lawsuits and all of these different incidents? Why? No one understands this. And the saddest part is that I think Ja believes that people won't move on. I think he thinks that, well, people are always going to be here to support me. If you guys are paying close attention, who's the next talk of the NBA? What's his name? Victor Wanyamba. I hope I'm pronouncing his name properly. He's going to be the new hype. The hype before that, we thought it was going to be Zion Williamson. Nobody's talking about Zion anymore. You notice that? No one is talking about Zion Williamson anymore. At one point, Zion Williamson was the biggest thing since sliced bread. Now nobody's talking about him. He's an afterthought because now the new shiny toy is Victor, the 7'3", 7'2" dude from France, by the way of Congo. So the NBA will move on without you. Nike will give that signature shoe to somebody else. They will do it. Why would Nike just sit up here and wait to give you we're just gonna be patient with you, Ja. Victor just came into the NBA. They could go after him. They could go after him. So for the new people coming in, some people are wondering what's happening. Nike has removed Ja Morant from their website. And I believe that this is the first step to either them suspending their relationship with Ja. They're either going to suspend it or they're just going to flat out cut ties with him. And I think what needs to happen right now is that I think the last thing on Ja Morant's mind needs to be basketball. Yeah, the Spurs got him. Yeah, that was huge. The last thing on Ja's mind right now needs to be it shouldn't be basketball. Ja Morant, if I'm him, I'm going away for like at least half a year because clearly I need to get my mind right. Clearly. I think a lot can happen. A lot of positive things can happen if Ja Morant just gets away, gets in the circle of the right people, and really just locks in on being a better version of himself. He can come back much stronger, much more focused, much more determined. Basketball should be the least of his concerns right now. Ja needs to work on what's going on up there right now. Because the way he was bouncing in that car and doing that stuff, it was like, bro, weren't you just talking to the NBA commissioner? Weren't you just talking to him? That's the first thing. I think what's going to happen is this. This is my thought. I think that, and I could be wrong, but this is what I think. I think that Nike and the league are working on this together. They may not drop Ja Morant. They may not drop him entirely. Do you know why? Because Nike most likely spent a lot of money and is sitting on a lot of inventory that they got to find a way to sell. They probably got a lot of inventory. Same thing I heard with Kanye West. That one of the reasons Adidas was looking to rekindle their relationship was because they had all of that inventory that they couldn't sell. So one of the things that they may be doing is, I think maybe Nike and the NBA may either be working on a thing where Ja Morant gets suspended for sure for some time, and they just kind of remove him, and they're kind of out of sight, out of mind. Maybe they don't drop him altogether. Maybe they just don't get rid of him. But maybe they just put a pause on everything. Because something drastic needs to happen. And that is why I was so surprised when I heard people like JJ Redick and all of these guys talk about, okay, 25 games, 20 games. So the question is, do you think that this guy is ready to be an NBA player? Do you think Ja Morant has the maturity right now to be an NBA player of that caliber, given what we just saw? Do you think he needs that? Somebody just said 20 to 25 games. It is nothing. It's a few months at least. It's not like as if they're getting rid of him for an entire season. He's not ready right now. He's not ready. And it shows me that Ja actually, when he went away for the first issue with the NBA, he did nothing. He did absolutely nothing. Ja Morant needs to go to military boot camp for a couple of months. That'll straighten him. No, what he said. Now it may sound Black appreciate the comment. What he said, you think it's funny, but it's actually he does have a point. Some parents send their kids to certain like boot camps because maybe the kids are belligerent. They don't understand any structure. I'm not saying that that's what they should do to Ja. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that things like this exist to kind of get people thinking the right way. But I think right now, Ja needs to just go away for a little bit and work on himself before he completely blows everything. Because he already lost out on making an all-NBA team, which cost him $40 million. He then, during his initial suspension, lost $600,000. Then, based on what Commissioner Adam Silvers is saying, that he expects his punishment to be steep. If he gets punished for 25, 30 games without pay, well, you do the math. How much are they paying Ja Morant per game? Multiply it. He's going to lose at least another $10, $15 million. Why? Because his new contract is kicking in. This worth over $230 million, and I believe it's a 5-year contract. So he's getting ready to lose at least another $10 to $18 million. And all for what? I'm sorry. I like Ja, but he needs a year for my opinion. Appreciate the comment. Nothing will happen if Ja Morant goes away. I wouldn't even be mad if they suspended him for a year with pay as long as he went away to work on his mind. Ja's not ready for this particular level of fame. And it shows you that it's a mother effort. You know what I mean? That the fame, that the attention, that the money, that it's a lot. Especially for a very young man that may not have the proper people in his corner to give him the proper guidance. Which really makes what LeBron did absolutely incredible. Here's why I say what LeBron, and I'm going to give LeBron James a very, very big compliment, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to give LeBron a very, very big compliment. I was recently reading an article where I heard that David Falk, who's Michael Jordan's agent, I heard that he was the one that came up with the name Air Jordan. And when Jordan was kind of coming into the NBA, coming into all of that fame, coming into all of that money, he actually had a very calming principal voice around him and his agent. In the case of LeBron James, think about this. LeBron comes into the NBA. He's a kid. LeBron was 18 years old? 18 years old, 19 years old? And he makes his best friend, who I believe is around the same age as him, he makes him his agent. So these are two very, very, very young men. Very young men. And they're coming into this world, that new world, and LeBron somehow found a way to masterfully navigate it. Kobe Bryant, his dad was a former NBA player. He had that. He had Jerry West. But LeBron found a way to do it. And it's showing you that there's a lot more to being a great basketball player than just playing basketball. You got to know how to conduct yourself and stay away from the BS. And it seems like Ja is all about the BS right now. For Nike to remove your shoe from their website speaks volumes. It really speaks volumes. I hope they don't drop him because I don't think anyone is beyond redemption. I don't think that what Ja Morant is going through is something that he cannot come out of. It's just what it is just immaturity. It's immaturity and a lack of self-awareness of not knowing who you are. It's like as if Ja Morant doesn't know who he is in reality. Ja sees himself like just one of the guys when he's not. For the new people coming in, we got a report here. I'm going to post it here from TMZ Sports. I'm going to post it right here. Saying that Nike has officially removed Ja Morant, at least from their NBA division. Hey, appreciate that, Dale Harris. Appreciate the support. They just removed them from their, their website. I went to, if you go to Nike.com, the America store, not the other store. I went to the America store. Ja Morant shoes under the basketball section is not there. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pin that in the comments right now so you guys can look at it. If you go to Nike's website, you will not see it there. Ja Morant shoes no longer featured. You will see LeBron James, you see Kevin Durant, you see Giannis Antetokounmpo, you see Luka Doncic, Zion, Russell Westbrook. I got a question for you guys, and I'm gonna pose it to the audience. I got a question for you guys. I want to I want to put up a poll. This is the poll. Do you think Nike should have stuck with Kyrie? I got a question about this. Do y'all think Nike should have stuck with Kyrie Irving? Seriously. Because Nike got rid of Kyrie because they were hedging on Ja Morant. They were hedging on Ja Morant. And Ja Morant basically took a crate of eggs, walked into the Nike executive boardroom, and basically started throwing it in their faces. Nike invested millions of dollars into Ja Morant. Millions. Here you have a company that is literally looking to give away money. That's literally what they're doing. Giving away millions of dollars. It's not like as if Ja Morant has to do anything brand new. He may have to shoot a few commercials. He may have to do this, do that appearance there. But essentially, all you got to do is just ball. They just gave Kevin Durant a lifetime contract just for playing basketball. And Ja is finding a way to piss that one away too. I don't even know what to say. And this story is far from over because we have yet to hear what the NBA suspension is going to be. But I think, I'm not saying what the NBA should do. I think Ja needs time to himself. Literally. I think Ja Morant needs time. I think Ja needs to get around different people. Different people. And this, again, I got to go back to LeBron. Did LeBron James grow up in the hood? I'm not sure. Did LeBron James grow up in the hood? I don't feel bad for Nike for how they did Kyrie. I understand the sentiment. Just let me know in the comment section. Did LeBron James grow up in the hood or did he grow up in the middle class? I'm just curious about this. Just let me know. It's just yes or no. Did LeBron grow up in the hood? Some people are saying yes in Akron. Okay, it's a hood, right? Okay, it's a hood. Yes. So and I'll get to your comment from Corey. How is it possible that Ja Morant, that grew up in a middle class household, ended up gravitating towards the hood, but LeBron, that grew up in the hood, he ended up trying to get away from that nonsense? How's that possible? How's it possible? How is it possible? How is it possible? How is it possible? LeBron grew up in the hood. And LeBron said, I don't want to be a hood dude. I want to go out there, make the most for myself, my close friends. We're going to make a lot of money. We're going to come back. We're going to build our community. Ja who did not grow up in the hood. I don't know, maybe he drove by the hood, maybe he was listening to the music, but something is intriguing him. Hold up. Why are you running around with a firearm and you don't have security? What are you doing? This from Corey. In my opinion, Ja would be better to pivot to advocating responsible gun ownership and training. The denial, just not about that. Isn't the way. He needs some positive spin, not this. It's not me story. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. Appreciate the comment, Corey. Appreciate that. I just feel like Ja doesn't have the right people around him. I just feel he doesn't have the right. And let me tell you something. A lot of people are putting this on Ja, and a lot of it is on Ja. But let me tell you something. If you get yourself in the wrong crowd, it's going to be very, very hard to do the right thing around wrong people. I'll say it again. If you get yourself involved with the wrong crowd, it is going to be very, very hard to do the right thing when you're surrounded by the wrong people. Trust me. Because as the saying goes, if you want to know what your future is going to look like, look at the five closest people around you. That's what your future is going to look like. It is that simple. Ja is in a position where he could literally put himself around the right people. I'll give you guys an example. Look at Draymond Green. We crack jokes about him and all of that stuff, but Draymond Green understood something very, very fundamental. Draymond understands that if I want to get better, I got to be around people that are better than me. So Draymond said to himself, I want to hang around LeBron James. Now, some people laugh at him. Well, he's a D-rider, whatever. But Draymond understands, wait a minute, this guy's doing something right. This guy's going places. This guy knows the right people, so I need to hang out with him. I need to be around him. And the question is, who is Ja Morant hanging around? Who is he hanging around? Who's he hanging around? Who's he hanging around? I think Ja needs a break from basketball, man. It doesn't need to be a suspension. They can call it something else, but Ja needs a break. He needs a break. I don't know if he has to move. I don't know if he has to go to another country. I don't know what he has to do, but he got to do something. He got to do something. He just has to do something. Because as it's currently going, Ja is heading down a very, very dangerous path. And I'm going to give you guys some inside information. I was going to talk about it in one of our shows today. It's going to be on that, but I'm going to give you guys some inside information. A lot of people watch our show from different parts of the world. And one of our viewers, who I'm cool with, I talk to him from time to time. He lives in LA. Good dude. Lives in LA. And I asked him a question this morning. I said, "Hey man, how's it going out there?" I said, "I got a question for you. I know you out in LA. It looks like you know the appropriate people when we're talking about gangs and all of that stuff." And I said to him, I said, "Yo, how are the gangsters? How are the head honchos out in LA? What are their thoughts about Ja Morant throwing up gang signs and doing all of this madness? What are they feeling about that? What's the temperature like on the ground?" This is me doing my own investigative research. I never worked in the NBA. I don't know anybody, but I'm giving you guys a temperature of what the streets are thinking in my own little way. This is my own little breaking, my own little journalism. So I asked him, I said, "What do you think what are they saying out there?" And he said, as somebody that's affiliated, somebody just said it. He said the C's are not happy with Ja Morant at all. He said they are not happy with Ja Morant at all. And it's not a laughing matter. It's not a joke. It's not a comedy skit. It's not something. It's everything. It's far from comedy. It is serious. And he said they are not happy with him. He's up there throwing up this, throwing up that, throwing up this. representing something he's not a part of, he said they're going to have something to say about it. And I asked him, I said, do you think that Ja is just being ignorant, or do you think that like he's doing it on purpose, or do you think that he's really lost? Like he doesn't really know what he's doing. And he told me that whatever it is, whether he's ignorant or whether he doesn't know, whatever it is, he gonna have to answer for that. And this is from a prominent set in LA. They're not playing with this guy. They're not playing with him. What Keyshawn Johnson said was not a joke. It's not actually funny. You in the NBA, you're making millions of dollars. Go relax. Go relax. You're doing a little bit too much. And this is what's annoying me with the people that are sitting up here trying to, oh, nah, you're going too hard on him. It's like, no, dude needs to suspend him. If it means that it will put a halt to it so he can just go away and focus on himself and stop with the nonsense, that's the best thing for him. You cannot play with these people. You can't play with those dudes. This has nothing to do with being a coward. It has everything to do with having some damn sense. So Nike and all of that stuff, it's like an avalanche. Nike removes you from their website. The NBA is getting ready to suspend you. You have this nonsense going on out there. And y'all are telling me that Ja only needs to lose, what, 10, 15, 20? What kind of change? This is a dangerous game. And those dudes are not playing. Take it from me. I spoke to somebody that is directly connected. And he told me, this ain't somebody from Alaska. This is somebody from LA in those particular parts that told me what he's hearing. They're not happy with him. And to me, it is unbelievable that Ja he's pushing himself into that element all by himself. It's a shame. It's a shame. I pray that this dude self-corrects. I really do. I really pray that he self-corrects. I think we all want the best for him. I have no negative ill will. Ja was one of the players I actually like in the NBA. And I've always said it on our platform. The reason I like Ja, unlike Ben Simmons and these people, is because Ja Morant came into the NBA as one of the young players that understood he had a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and he was making the most of it. Ja was improving every single year. He even won the most improved. I mentioned it on the shows because I was comparing him on shows when I was criticizing Ben Simmons. I would use examples of like Paul George, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Pascal Siakam, Luka Doncic, Ja Morant. I always mentioned him as somebody that was serious about basketball. So for me to see this happening to this guy, I really can't believe it. Is he being possessed? What is it? But Nike is now talking about removing you from their website. Do you know what that means if Nike drops you? If Nike drops Ja, what other brand would want to go next to Ja? When Nike, a company that stood by Kobe, stood by Tiger Woods, dropped you. It's unreal. Somebody said, did Nike drop him? No, we're getting a report from TMZ, and they have removed him from their website. I'm going to post it here once more. You guys can go read the article. And if you go to Nike's men's division, the basketball division on their website, you will clearly see that Ja Morant shoes are no longer there. And if you know anything about these companies, they sell a lot of their products through their apps and on their online stores because less and less people are actually going into stores and buying them. So for them to remove them from at least their American store, that speaks volumes. That's exactly what it is. I don't know. Under Armour may go for him, but Under Armour has Stephen Curry. But this is what's happening now. I pray that Ja Morant self-corrects. Because in my time watching sports, I've never seen something like this before. I've never seen it. And it is painful to see a young brother going through this, especially when it's self-inflicted. Ja has no idea of the people in the world that would do anything to be in this position. He has no idea. There's so many people in the world that would love to be in his position. You get to play basketball for a living, and you pissing it away because you want to show us that you harder than the rest of us. These are my thoughts, man. Anyway, thank you guys for being a part of this live. We got more content coming out later today. Thank you guys for your attention, man. And we catch y'all on the next show. Appreciate you guys for being a part of this. Thank you. Thank you.